You charge 18,000 pesos per hour, and nobody ever complains. Corporate fraud, white-collar crime, millionaire divorces. This is your world. Your hands have never shaken inside a courtroom, and you intend to keep it that way. Until the morning, a voice asks you one very specific and dangerous question. Do you defend people who move product? The voice asks, and goes quiet. You say that depends entirely on the case in your most professional tone. The voice says, good. Be at this address in 1 hour. Come alone. You write down the address. You should not write down the address. You write it anyway. You put on your best suit and cancel every meeting without explanation. Your hands are doing something unfamiliar as you button your jacket slowly. They are shaking. Just slightly, but shaking. And you know it. You arrive at a location you were told never to write down anywhere. 3 black Suburbans sit outside, engines running. Nobody waves you in. 8 men with earpieces. Not one of them smiles or speaks to you. White walls, 1 table, 1 light bulb, and exactly 2 chairs inside. He's already sitting, shorter than expected. No gold anywhere on him. No watches, no chains, no performance of power. Just a plain cotton shirt. He says, sit. You sit. You do not think about it even once. The others were afraid, he says quietly. He asks if you are afraid. You should say yes. Instead, you say, tell me exactly what the charges are. He smiles for the very first time, and that smile will cost you everything. The case file is 4,200 pages, and it lands hard. Drug trafficking, homicide, money laundering, weapons, 37 counts, 9 years. The DEA added surveillance. The CIA added files no one was meant to see. 17 witnesses already signed statements, specifically designed to bury him forever. This is not a legal case. This is a finished coffin with his name. You read all night, drink 4 coffees, and eat absolutely nothing. At 6:14, your eyes stop on one small paragraph buried deep inside. A procedural error in the authorization behind the entire government wiretap program. So buried, no other lawyer in Mexico would ever find it. But you did. You accept. The retainer is 2 million pesos delivered in cash. You tell yourself every person deserves a proper and thorough legal defense. You tell yourself the law is the law, and you just practice it. These are the comfortable lies you repeat every single morning while shaving. The real truth is simpler and uglier, and you already know it fully. Saying no to Joaquin Guzman is not a choice that ends peacefully. You work 18 hours daily and slowly stop going home at all. Your wife stops asking when you are coming back, and that silence hurts. Your daughter has a birthday. You send a gift by courier instead of going. You cannot be there because your presence would make your family a target. The first hearing is a full-scale media explosion outside the courthouse building. 300 journalists wait. 2 helicopters circle noisily in the morning sky. You walk in wearing a suit that cost 42,000 pesos exactly. You walk slowly because right now you own every inch of this room. You file the wiretap suppression motion and cite 17 separate legal precedents immediately. The prosecutor goes white. He was not prepared for any of this today. He expected performance before the comfortable, inevitable guilty verdict arrived for everyone. He did not expect someone who actually found and used the crack in his case. The judge takes 2 hours. When he returns, he rules completely in your favor. 9 years of federal wiretap surveillance removed from the case in one morning. Outside the courthouse, a courier hands you an envelope with one small white card. 2 handwritten words. Thank you. No name. No signature. Nothing else at all. You learn the rules of this world, and you learn them very fast. Rule 1. Never ask what your client did on any given night. Rule 2. Never ask where the money actually comes from. Rule 3. Surgical precision. 0 personal moral judgment. ever. A witness vanishes 3 days before he was supposed to testify. Another rewrites his entire sworn statement the night before testifying. A judge ruling against you suddenly requests an urgent city transfer. You ask about none of this because you already know all of it. They call you El Licenciado, with the same tone reserved for generals. You count 7 federal targets at dinner and say absolutely nothing. Your former law professor calls you completely out of nowhere one afternoon. I heard your name on this case and had to confirm it was you. He says, I taught you something considerably better than this choice. He hangs up. You hold the phone in silence for 11 full minutes. You stopped being able to cry 8 months into working this case. Your therapist called it severe moral injury. The same thing soldiers develop in war. Your children do not live with you because proximity to you equals danger. The DEA contacts you, not through any official or documented legal channel. An agent sits across from you at a coffee shop, orders like a friend. We are not here to threaten you, he says in a very calm voice. They have a file on you already. 260 pages long, bank transfers, travel records, photos with your client, recorded phone calls, not activating it yet. That word yet just hangs completely in the air. He leaves. You sit alone and completely still for a full 20 minutes. The cartel owns you from one side. The DEA watches from the other. You stand in the middle, and that middle keeps shrinking around you daily. The escape tunnel changes everything about your standing and your immediate safety. He walks out of Altiplano through a tunnel 1.5 kilometers long, ventilated, fully lit inside, and fitted with a small working motorcycle track, built over months while you were visiting him and filing motions in court. Months during which you had absolutely no idea this was happening underground. Or at least, that is exactly what you rehearse telling yourself each morning. Federal agents arrive at your office within 48 hours of the escape. They question you for 9 straight hours, and you give them 3 words only: attorney-client privilege. You say it until it stops sounding like language at all. Those 3 words are the only wall left standing between you and prison right now. He is captured again 6 months later, and this time America wants him directly. Extradition is one word that rewrites every single calculation you have been carefully making. In Mexico, you know the gaps and the relationships and the right technicalities to use. In Brooklyn, there is a federal prosecutor who has simply never lost a case. You file injunctions, challenge treaties, argue human rights violations loudly in every direction. 14 months of procedural warfare, knowing the entire time that you cannot win this. The day extradition is approved, he looks at you calmly through the thick glass. You did everything possible, he says quietly. You say, I know. Nothing more follows. You both understand clearly. You will never be in the same room again. 3 weeks later, 20 federal agents arrive at your door before dawn. A helicopter circles above with its spotlight aimed directly at your window. Snipers wait on the rooftop of the building directly across from yours. They process you as though you personally ran the entire cartel yourself. 24 counts and 216 possible years in federal prison. Your handcuffed photo covers every front page across Mexico by 7 a.m. Your mother calls crying. Your daughter does not call you at all today. The prosecutor visits your cell and looks entirely comfortable standing inside it. Cooperate, and you are out in 8 years, clean, he tells you plainly. Stay silent, and you will die. Inside a cell is what he says. You think about 12 years of school and 15 years of practice. You think about 39 consecutive cases won. You think about this one. Now you sit in the exact kind of cell you spent your career preventing. I need a lawyer, you tell him, and your voice is completely steady. He almost smiles. Yes, you do, he says. Then he walks away from you. Here is what no one teaches you during those years inside law school. The law is not justice. It has never once been about justice at all. The law is a machine, and machines do not care who feeds them. You fed it killers for 15 years, and it worked perfectly every time. You fed it your integrity piece by piece, and it still worked perfectly. Now the machine is consuming you, and it is still working perfectly. 48 hours to make the most important decision of your entire life. Cooperate and destroy an organization that will hunt your family across continents. Stay silent and surrender every remaining year to a 4-meter concrete cell. The man who cracked 4,000 pages and freed generals from locked rooms. The man who owned 3 courtrooms and walked out of every single one. That man is waiting in a 4-meter cell for someone else to be his lawyer, wondering if there is one single crack buried somewhere inside his own case file. There probably is not. But you are absolutely going to look for it anyway. Looking for cracks in the dark is the only thing you have ever truly been. And the dark has finally and permanently swallowed you completely and entirely whole.